Hi there, welcome to another episode of It's a Cooking Thing. Now on today's menu we're going to have lasagna, salad, and crusty French bread. So for starters we're going to brown our ground beef. Now what I have here is about 2 pounds of lean ground beef. Some people like it a little more fat and others like it a little lean. Now if you want to leave the meat out you could, and just don't put any meat in there, or you could put a plant-based, well, it's not ground beef, but it's plant-based ground, I guess, soy. Whichever you want to put in here, but today we're going to use ground beef. So what I'm going to do is put this in my pan. Get that going there. To that, I'm going to go ahead. Now this is optional. The reason I'm doing this is I had some leftover mushrooms and a love onion. Of course, onion goes in Italian. I'm going to just go ahead and add this with the ground beef. Just gives it a little bit more consistency. Okay, now what we're going to do is get these onions chopped. Now I have a really large onion here. You can use as little or a lot, whatever you want, or you can leave it out. It's just, you know, I'm just using it up because I had it on hand. And you want to kind of chop it up as fine as you can. I'm just going to save this piece because you could put that, oh gosh, in anything, a sandwich, a salad, an omelet, whatever you like to have an onion with. I don't want my meat to get away from me. Now this here is pretty lean ground beef. I think it's like 90% lean. But there again, some people, you know, don't want it as lean, but it's just your preference. You know, it's just a little bit frozen here. I thawed it out in my microwave a little bit. You break it, it will be pieces, and it's a little bit easier to cook. Now, we're going to go ahead. I hope I had a big enough pan. All right. And I would say that this is probably about 2.5 cups, maybe 3 cups of mushrooms. Like I said, I just had them on hand and I just wanted to find a good way to use them up, and they work so well with Italian dishes. Now for a dish like this, I kind of like to chop them up pretty small. unless you like the bigger chunks, you know, it's up to you. But personally, I like it just a little bit small. Now you don't have to put any kind of seasoning or anything in this. Now, with the mushroom and the onion, it should make a lot of moisture, especially if you got some real lean ground beef. But say for instance, if it just gets too dry, you can always add a little water or a little bit of oil. If you got sunflower oil or, you know, olive oil or vegetable oil, whatever you've got on hand. But I think this is going to do just fine. And I'll just leave that go. Now, let me get another cutting board, just in case this might have cross-contaminated. All right. Now this is a very easy, you know, there again, a salad, you can put just anything you want to in there. What I'm going to do, first I'm going to cut up my vegetables. This is just an English zucchini. I like these because you don't have to peel them. You can eat the peeling. And you can also eat the seeds. And it's just a quick kind of a cucumber that you don't have to do a lot to. So to this salad, I'm just going to put one. Now if you don't like it, leave it out, or if you want a little more, put some more in it. Because you know, with a salad, you can pretty much put anything you want to. And we're just going to make some little onion, well, circles is what I call them. Try to cut them as thin as you can. Let's see here. Probably have enough onion because you don't want to overpower your salad. And like I said, this is a real simple. Now you can put all the tomatoes on there you want or leave them out. I'm just going to chop up just 2 small tomatoes just to put on the top. And of course, you know, make sure to wash all your produce, always. Even if it looks nice and clean, a lot of people touch it and, you know, could have been leaning up against something that wasn't so clean. But anyway, just passing some tidbits along. If you haven't thought of them already, I'm sure you have. But that's the mother in me. Repeat, repeat. Okay, now let me check on this again. much longer. And you know, if you got some zucchini, maybe a zucchini left or something, you don't know what to do with it, you could certainly cut that up and add this to your ground beef. Or put zucchini and mushroom and onion, just leave the beef out. But these recipes these days, everything's just changeable, it's just versatile. Cook. Now, this is the easy part here. Put a towel here. I'm going to use this thing as a big salad bowl. I'm just getting a combination salad here. Like I said, you can put a combination salad. You can put anything you want. This just happens to be a lot of chopped romaine, and this is, you know, field greens. But I've made a lot of salads with the baby kale, baby spinach, and that's fine. Whichever you want to do. So what I'm going to do is cut this open. And I'll just put it all in there because I'm going to put it all anyway. And then this big one here, do the same way. And this is just chopped romaine noodles, romaine lettuce. All right, now, let's see how this is going to be. You just want to kind of stir it a little bit. I think I might add just a little bit more lettuce because we love salads around here. They're not just for supper, you know, for lunch, or maybe late at night if you're watching a late show or something. You just want something a little light and refreshing. This is perfect. A little bit in here. And when you buy bag salad, you know, it just takes out a lot of the work. And as you can see, you can put whatever you want in there. It kind of looks like you've spent all day making this salad when you have it. Okie dokie. Yeah, let me check this one more time. I'm just going to pop these little circles out. Now, if you wanted more onion, you know, like I said, it's just whatever you want. Or you don't want onion, or maybe you like green onion better, or the Vidalia onion, which is one of my favorites. But this is a very, very sweet onion anyway. Now I'm going to add this, my cucumbers, my English cucumber. I'm going to save my tomatoes for more of a garnish. And just kind of incorporate it a little bit. And to that, we're just going to just put some little tomatoes on the top. And just kind of spread them around. And there you have it. Doesn't it look pretty and refreshing? Perfect for lasagna. Now, we're going to assemble our lasagna. Let me get this out of the way. And this is done. Now, this couldn't be any easier. There again, I used to spend all day making sauce where you put it in there with your garlic and all that, let it simmer, simmer, simmer. But since they've come out a long time ago with jarred spaghetti sauce, that's the way to go. If you want to save time, and it tastes just as good. So I've got my spaghetti sauce. Now sometimes I eyeball it, 3 or 4. I have to see how it looks in the pot and how big your pan is and how much meat you add. That varies on your sauce. And then what I like, and this is a big time saver, is your oven ready pasta or lasagna noodle. You don't have to boil it and drain it and mess up more pots and pans. This just cooks in the oven. You just lay it in there in layers and then there you have it. And to that, I've got cottage cheese. You can use fat-free or whole or whatever. And let's see, I should have my mozzarella cheese. Now I just go ahead and buy this in the package. You can buy it whole and grate it. You know, it just depends on how much work you want to put into it. But honestly, once it's cooked, nobody knows how you made it. You know, they might think you spent all day. Let them think so. All right. Now, to try to get this assembled here, I am going to get my large pot. Yes. Spoon for this. And get my cheese ready. You want to just line it up just to assemble it. And done. And of course, here's your noodles. Just kind of get them started. Now, I'm going to have to get that big old cooking pot of mine to mix everything up in. And like I said, the reason I use it is because it's nice and big and I can put everything in it. Now, I'm just going to go ahead and put the ground beef in it. And this is a real lean beef again. So if it had a lot of fat in it, yeah, you'd almost have to put it in a colander or strainer, and you know, unless you want that fat, but it really wouldn't do your lasagna right. You just taste fat. Now, what you have here really isn't fat; it's just the juices that came out of the onion and then the mushroom. And you don't want to add it to that because it would make it too juicy. So you can see how this goes in the pan here. Now what I'm going to do is open this jar. If I'm successful, sometimes I'm not. Here we go. And just pour that in here. And I'll tell you how many jars I'm going to use. There. Now let me check and see. There. You know what? All right. Now, let me get this out of the way. gonna need my ladle. Okay, now get my pan. Now I've got a pan about this size. It's kind of deep. Now, a lot of times when my kids were little, when I'd make lasagna, I'd make 2 and freeze 1. It pretty much went with everything, because that way you spend all the time doing the work, and then you've got a meal you can take from your freezer, and you've got another complete dinner. Okay. What we're going to do, we got to start off. You always want to put a little bit of sauce at the bottom of your pan. Now, reason being, if you just lay a noodle there, it's going to stick. And it would take forever and a day to scrape that off your plate. You just soon throw it away if that happens. But this will help a lot. Now, let's start off with these noodles. Now, I like to start off and just, you know, lay these down like this. And there you got to put a little more sauce. And just kind of push it around a little bit. Now it will, when it cooks, kind of all melt and go to the sides and coat everything. Coat it as best you can with your ladle. Alright, and then here's the cottage cheese. And just, you know, set it around just however you want to do it. I like to try to keep it kind of even. It's hard to sometimes, but it doesn't matter because it's going to all cook down right. And so then I like to take these and then start laying it like that. Just kind of alternate a little bit. It just kind of helps even it out. And here comes some more sauce. Oh, I forgot my mozzarella, but that's okay. No one will ever know. I'm going to put it on this one. You want to kind of layer your sauce, noodles, cottage cheese, mozzarella, and then repeat. But you know, if you skip a step, don't worry about it, because lasagna is forgiving. Because when it cooks up, it all blends and nobody even knows. Your mozzarella there. Now, we're going to make some more noodles. And I did end up just using 2 jars of the marinara sauce. Alright. Now, what I like to do before I put it in the oven, so my cheese doesn't get all crispy on top, I like to put some aluminum foil on there. I'm going to bake it at 400 degrees for about, being this size here, probably about 50 minutes to an hour. There again, check it. If it's really bubbling hard and everything, it's done. Especially if your cheese is melted. Now, if your cheese hasn't melted, or if, say, you use a meat thermometer and you put it in the center and it's just still cold, keep it in there like another 10 minutes and then break it down to every 5 minutes. But honestly, 50 minutes to an hour at 400 should do it. So let me get some aluminum foil and put it in the oven. All right. And like I said, this is just an easy lasagna. And if you didn't want to add the vegetables that I put into the pan along with the meat, you wouldn't have to. All right, now I'm gonna put this in my oven and just let it do its thing. All right, now we've taken our casserole of lasagna out of the oven, and as you can look and see, the cheese is completely melted and it's good and hot. And so what we're going to do is take a little piece of lasagna and do a little taste test. I already know it's going to be good. Look how nice that is. And it makes quite a bit. Like I said, you could easily double this recipe if you wanted to. I think what I'm going to do is just get a fork. And, you know, make 2, freeze 1. Get that out. Now this is going to be so hot. And of course, to that, I have taken some bread out of the oven, and I've made that salad earlier. And so this is what we're going to have for dinner. Let me taste this without burning my mouth off. Good lasagna. Very good. Well, thank you for watching another episode. Please don't forget to subscribe, like, and share. Thank you.